What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Heavy Duty Country and happy Thanksgiving. Somebody should tell the left who are rioting and trying to destroy America over the Kyle Rittenhouse case again that we've got a lot to be grateful for. At least China hasn't bombed us yet. That's one big one right there. Anyways, I wanted to let y'all know that we are having a site-wide Black Friday sale that starts right now. So go pick you out a patriotic t-shirt or one that's going to piss off somebody on the left when you walk through a grocery store wearing it. So I've been talking to the spokesperson for Kyle Rittenhouse for a little bit now, kind of started at the beginning of the trial, and his name's Dave Hancock. He went on Fox News, former Navy SEAL guy, former operator. And he's been kind of giving me the lowdown as far as what's going on with everything. And during the whole trial, Tucker Carlson basically had a camera crew following him around so they could get this documentary put out in December. But he also had an interview scheduled with him to kind of clear up everything that he thinks about what happened right after the trial. And the interview seems like it went well.
I have to have people with me because people want to kill me just because I defended myself, and they're too ignorant to look at the facts of what happened.
Are you confident that the government will protect you from these threats? Because that's, of course, the government's job.
I hope so, but we all know how the FBI works.
Yeah.
Except for one part, and a lot of people seem to be pissed off about it. But in my opinion, I think there's way more to this. During the interview, Kyle says that he supports the BLM movement.
It had to do with the right to self-defense.
Right.
I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating.
So there's obviously a lot that can be assumed from this, but we're really not going to know the facts behind what he meant until he comes out and talks about it. But what I've done is I've compiled probably every strategy or every possible meaning of what he meant. And I'm going to go over those because I was a little confused when I heard it, because he was protecting businesses from the BLM movement. The BLM movement tried to kill him. That's not something that you would rationally support after it tried to kill you. Here's the other thing. He meets with Trump. What BLM person is going to meet with Trump? They think he's Hitler. So, first thing I want to go over is the strategy behind it. He may have said it to give the shaft to every single person who ever said he was a white supremacist. Because now he can go to a lawyer and say, oh no, I support the BLM movement. I said it on Tucker Carlson. And then obviously after BLM chirped up about this and said that we don't with Kyle Rittenhouse.
They are a propaganda machine that's used to make the nonsensical seem to make sense. And so they want to make Kyle Rittenhouse both the young hero of white supremacy, but also not be a blatant white supremacist. And so he's declaring this support for Black Lives Matter, very kind of tacit support for Black Lives Matter and for so-called peaceful protests.
So they kind of picked up on maybe one of the strategies that went into this. I think one thing we need to remember is he's an 18-year-old kid. He most likely is ignorant on most of the stuff going on in the U.S. right now, mainly because he's been facing a murder trial for the past year. And also because most 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they don't care about any of this stuff. But I think probably the most accurate explanation of all of this is that he's ignorant. He's ignorant of the fact that they have promoted hate for the past 2.5 years. He's ignorant of the fact that they have destroyed cities for the past 2.5 years. He's ignorant on the fact that their answer to not getting their way is to loot, is to steal. I think one of their slogans is no justice, no peace. And of course, they decide what justice is. It's not about what the people think. It's not about what a jury thinks. It's what they think. Somebody has probably never sat down with them and really explained what the organization is. They were probably busy worrying about getting this kid his freedom back. I remember when I was 18, I had a tunnel vision style mind, which meant that I wasn't analytical at all. I just saw what I saw and that was it. I'm sure it's very similar for Kyle. He hears the term Black Lives Matter and takes it at face value. To me, obviously, I'm way too analytical of a person to the point where when I hear someone say just any race matters, to me, that's classic racism. You don't have to say Black Lives Matter. Obviously, they matter. You don't have to say white lives matter. Obviously, they matter. When you have to single one of them out, it's textbook racism. But a 17-year-old and 18-year-old probably doesn't think that way. Here's the last part that I think probably he just messed up on. But you know, this kid has done pretty much everything perfectly that he's bound to mess up at some point. He said, I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully protesting. I think what he meant to say is, I support any organization that wants to peacefully protest. Meaning that he supports the right to protest, not the organization. If you take it down to a very small level, the BLM movement is simply the movement of people of BLM, meaning the movement on the street, protesting. Just simply the right to peacefully protest. So I think if Kyle Rittenhouse truly understood him, had a chance to actually dive into what they've done over the past year and a half, 2 years, I don't think he's going on interviews saying that he supports BLM. I think he realizes that that exact movement caused a riot that tried to kill him, and that he's probably been worried about bigger, better things, like how he was on the witness stand and getting his freedom back. This kid's got my respect. He's doing a fantastic job.